Thanks very much. My name is Joshua Palfreman. I'm from Britain and America, but I've lived the past 10 years working as an environmental engineer in East Africa. I work in sanitation and solid waste management, particularly in informal settlements. And the area that I really look into is how you can empower waste pickers, informal waste workers and scavengers to do what they already want to do in a legal and a sustainable manner. With normal waste typologies like paper and plastic, that's very easy. It's a robust market. But with tires, it's almost always impossible. This is a photo of tires that offer a perfect breeding ground for mosquito-transmitting insects, malaria-transmitting insects, sorry. 53% of road accidents in East Africa and in the Republic of South Africa are caused by vehicle defects, most notably by tires that have been illegally retread by waste pickers who are trying to recycle waste tires. And then, of course, there's burning, which releases the smoke, and a public health and an environmental crisis. And when we look at industrial models, like those that are used here in the United States, we find a life cycle emissions approach, which is pathetic. We find that the volumetrics inside of a 40-foot container are ridiculous. We find that the unit cost of our competitor in Africa is over $1 million and requires a constant supply of water and electricity, which these countries can't provide in the first place. We also look at a 45 to 55% youth unemployment rate, an extremely young population that needs to be removed from the chance that they are going to join extremist groups and need to find jobs that have low barriers for employment and empowerment. And waste management is inherently an industry which has these low-skill barriers. The Global Alliance of Waste Pickers based out of Harvard University speaks of how waste management is the perfect industry for unskilled laborers. So in February this year, this is a very new product, we invented a device that was simplistic, intuitive, and very cheap, about $400 US to build it. I welded it together with my own hands in a Saba municipality. It's non-motorized, it's mobile, it's durable, and it works for waste pickers. It is innovation which has been specifically designed for low capacities. I'm talking about 200 waste tires per day, 150 kilograms of steel bead wire, maybe $40 of output, enough to sustain 2 livelihoods in Africa, not make a corporate or a venture capitalist a huge amount of money off of an industrial or motorized sized tire recycling plant based in Nairobi or Dar es Salaam. And we've spoken with several petrol companies and with municipalities in South Africa. We've sold about 1,000 units so far. We have the in-house ability to brand and market this and build it in Durban, South Africa, in Nairobi and in Lagos. And I have many of the kind of municipal connections that I've been making over the course of my entire career in these areas where I have been living, where we can market this technology very effectively. Thank you very much.
Well, first of all, your timing was impeccable. It was great. Do you have the IP protected? And if not, how do you protect that innovation?
Sure. We've spoken with a few kind of big legal firms, including Spoor and Fisher in South Africa, which advise on kind of old Commonwealth kind of legal agreements that you can go into patenting. Since our product is directed towards the informal sector, and that these patents don't hold much water on the African continent anyways, we decided that we're not going to patent it. We have tried to establish ourselves a lot through peer-reviewed journals, through reports, and through social media and competitions such as South by Southwest.
So is the intent to stay in Africa? I guess you wanted to do it in other nations, you could have different.
We have not found through our 18 months of market research a non-motorized tire recycling device or a tire recycling technology that costs under $1 million. So we think this technology will apply in any context where $30 to $40 is enough to support a livelihood, which we believe is anywhere in the developing world, which has a rising middle class and a rising rate of car ownership.
Talk a little bit about the business model.
Sure. So once you extract the steel bead wire from the rubber, there are robust markets for both. So we're able to crumb the rubber when it's separated from the steel very easily. We can sell that as a mulch, as a commodity internationally, in a playground, to a waste-to-energy industry. And the steel, there are steel markets on every street corner in Africa. You can sell your steel very easily. So once we have the waste tires separated, the waste pickers know very well what to do with them, and we have links with the Global Alliance at Harvard University and several of those cooperatives on the African the pickers know exactly where to find these waste tires. So we're deploying them on dump sites and landfills, waste transfer stations, and really interestingly at petrol stations that have a whole lot of employees on their payroll, but they're only using them in the morning and the evening rush hours. They have them for about 6 hours in the middle of the day. They're aggregating all of these tires over the course of the year from broken down cars, and they have nothing to do with them. So they're using their existing staff to kind of valorize a waste typology that's previously done nothing with.
In such a situation, would you say that the innovation or the core of what you're trying to do is the product innovation, or is it the fact that you can get people skilled in terms of how to use certain types of technology and run local businesses based on that? What is it?
I suppose if I was to put it in a nutshell, the technology is empowering hundreds of thousands, a huge part of the waste economy. 85% of the waste economy in these countries is controlled by the informal sector. If you talk about plastic or paper or metal, any other waste typology, when it comes to tires, a whole informal class of workers has been marginalized simply because they don't have the cash flow, the logistical capacity, and the quantities required to get their product to mechanized and motorized tire recycling facilities.
So at some point, could you imagine yourself again being a platform for how smarter supply chains can be built around waste?
I'm sorry?
At some point, could you imagine yourself
Sorry.
being about how you can build a supply chain around waste? Because it will be more than tires.
I'm sorry to cut you off, Sachin.
Sure.
We're actually at time.
Okay.
Apologies. Thank you.